Let's get to this story from the New York Times. This is quite extraordinary. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen here. You got to read this whole report because I'm only going to be able to touch on some of the high-level details here. But their headline is Stolen Valor. The U.S. volunteers in Ukraine who lie, waste, and bicker, people who would not be allowed anywhere near the battlefield in a U.S.-led war, are active on the Ukrainian front with ready access to American weapons. So basically what happened here is Zelensky, understandably, was like, hey, anyone around the world, please, who is able to fight, please come and help us. And so there were thousands of Americans who responded to this call. The New York Times puts it this way. They say they rushed to Ukraine by the thousands, many of them Americans who promised to bring military experience, money, or supplies to the battleground of a righteous war. Hometown newspapers hailed their commitment. Donors backed them with millions of dollars. Now, after a year of combat, many of these homespun groups of volunteers are fighting with themselves and undermining the war effort. Some have wasted money or stolen valor. Others have cloaked themselves in charity while also trying to profit off the war, records show. One of the individuals that they highlight here is Malcom Nance, who became an absolute resistance superstar over on MSNBC during Russiagate. And he was one of these people who, you know, when the Ukraine war started, he said, all right, I'm signing up. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to fight this, you know, I'm going to fight in this war personally. So they say that when he arrived, he made a plan to try to bring order and discipline to this legion of fighters that had been, you know, beset by infighting and chaos and, you know, had been lying about their military records and all these other issues. Instead, they say he became enmeshed in the chaos. Today, he's involved in a messy, distracting power struggle, one that, it will surprise no one to learn, plays out often on Twitter, where Malcom Nance taunted one former ally as fat and an associate of a verified con artist. One of the things that they point to here, Saagar, which will also be a familiar pattern for those who followed his work on Russiagate, is he will use his counterintelligence background to throw out all sorts of allegations about people that, you know, are totally at least unproven. He branded one person as a potential Russian spy, offering no evidence. This individual, of course, denied the allegations. He defended himself, saying that as a member of the Legion with an intelligence background, he developed concerns that he felt an obligation to report this to Ukrainian counterintelligence. He has now left Ukraine, potentially was forced down, but we'll just say left Ukraine, but continues fundraising with a new group of allies. And a number of these new allies are proven liars who've lied about their military experience, lied about their past work experience, etc. So a lot of shady dealings going on here that they're tracking in the Times.
Oh, yeah, this is so disgusting. I mean, when you read this with Malcolm, I mean, clearly he got himself embroiled. Now he's raising money, denouncing other people. And you know what bothers me the most is, look, there are a lot of well-meaning people here in this country, around the world, who care a lot about Ukraine, who gave their hard-earned money to these people with the belief that they were supporting people who are going to Ukraine to selflessly give their lives and to support those military forces. And if that's the case, these people are the worst of society because, and I guess allegedly I should say, for the lawyers, they took their hard-earned money, are embezzling it in some cases, wasting it. And in the worst cases, Krystal, they are drawing resources from the Ukrainian military, who has to deal with these morons, who are like, who are you? Why are you showing up here? In some cases, they had to kick them out for fighting with each other. Now, many of them are squabbling online, all of them being well-heeled by donors. There's also a secondary part of this where, if you read this, our producer Griffin made a joke this morning that this should be made into a movie. It really should be made into a movie, The Grifters of Ukraine. But one of the ones that bothered me the most was a guy who showed up there who said, I've been shooting rifles all my life, no formal training, never been in the military. Shows up there, starts fighting other American militia members, basically saying that they were delivered brand new American service weapons, basically out of a crate. When he was pressed, he was like, yeah, I don't know where they came from. Yep. I think we all know where they came from. Okay. Yep. So we're talking here about unvetted, untrained yahoos from the U.S., not saying they aren't brave, like you certainly are to be going into an active war zone, with U.S. provided and paid weapons and ammunition in their hands and throwing them at the Russians. Does that sound responsible to you? That's not responsible.
And many of them aligning with these, far right, potentially Nazi, Nazi ideology battalions. The dude you're talking about, this guy James Vasquez, had said he deployed to Kuwait, said he deployed in Iraq. All a total lie. He left the Army Reserve not as a sergeant as he claimed, but as a private first class, one of the Army's lowest ranks. Still, they say he had easy access to weapons, including American rifles. Where did they come from? Quote, I'm not exactly sure, Mr. Vasquez said in a text message. The rifles he added were brand new, out of the box, and we have plenty. He also tweeted that he should not have to worry about international rules of war while he's in Ukraine. He admitted to misrepresenting his military record for decades. He acknowledged being kicked out of the Army, but wouldn't talk about why. Quote, I had to tell a million lies to get ahead. I didn't realize it was going to come to this. And if you read through, that's like the beginning of the article. If you read through all the way to the end, you'll find Malcom Nance defending him and saying he's not a fake, he's the real deal. But these are individuals who would never make it on, into the U.S. military. This guy was actively kicked out of the Army. And yet in the context of the Ukrainian conflict, he's got access to apparently whatever weapons he wants. So it also speaks to a lot of questions that we have raised about, okay, we're shipping all of this lethal aid, quote unquote, over there. Where's it going? Who's getting their hands on it? Well, we know one person who got their hands on it, Mr. James Vasquez, who's been lying about everything.
And let's not forget this. The Biden administration has assured us we have no indications of misuse of American funds that have been sent to Ukraine. You're looking at direct evidence right there. You got some crazy guy who barely served in the military who's over there with his hands on brand new weapons saying, Krystal, he doesn't need to abide by the international, what did he say? The international rules of war. So wait, are you saying you're going to commit war crimes with U.S. provided weapons? Because that doesn't sound great. Is that something that you want your hands on? Nobody here is defending the Russians. Nobody is saying that, they don't deserve to be beaten or any of that. But you got to be responsible with the aid and the weapons that you are providing to people. And over again, they have assured us that any questions about aid to Ukraine are treasonous. They say that they're unfounded, that the Ukrainian military here can be trusted. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't be trusted if these are the type of people that you're willing to put weapons in the hands of. This is crazy. I mean, and as they find out, because they're kicking many of them out for having crazy behavior or for being grifters.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's a pretty shocking report. Kudos to the Time for doing a good job on this one for once.
I knew the guy, Thomas Gibbons Neff. He's a straight shooter. He's actually was a U.S. Marine himself. He did a lot of great work in Afghanistan. So I'll read anything that guy writes. He's a fantastic reporter.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.